listen up. Y'all, it's the queen of automation, Megan Donnelly, here to give you inspiration. Founders and business owners gather round. I'ma show you how to build systems that'll astound. Streamline your processes, no need for complication.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Queen of Automation podcast, where we talk about why technology is only good when it works and how I help you make it work. Today is super exciting. We are talking with the co-founder and CMO, Utsav of Supergrow. And I am laughing because I totally butchered his name and I had to ask him offline before we hit record. I'm like, I'm going to ask you. So I practiced it a few times. But anyway, so he is the co-founder and CMO of Supergrow, which is a very awesome tool that we use, AI tool to help you create better LinkedIn content and format LinkedIn content in a way that all of the, the top creators are using out on LinkedIn today. And it really helps you grow your followers and get better engagement and all this stuff. I won't steal his limelight. But anyway, welcome, Utsav. I'm so excited that you're here, and I can't wait to hear your backstory, because the first thing I want you to tell our audience is where you're tuning in from. Like, because we know you're not here. You're not in Midwest Wisconsin with me. I know that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So excited to be on this podcast, and thanks for having me. By the way, I'm joining from India. Yeah, it's
All right.
right here.
And we've known each other for a little while. I was pretty much an early adopter. I know that it was right after you started that our good friend Luke Matthews introduced me to Supergrow, and I was like checking it out. I'm like, oh, this is great. And he was really teaching me formatting, of LinkedIn posts and like the correct way to format posts so that they get better engagement. And then he's like, you know what? He's like, just go check out Supergrow. Here's what Supergrow can do for you. And I jumped in and I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is perfect. This is just what I needed. Because I have writers, and we have good writing skills, right? Like, the content we were writing wasn't bad. The content is great, but the formatting is key, right? Because people don't want to read. They get lazy and they don't want to read. But anyway, so I would love to hear how you came up with the idea first. I mean, I know it wasn't just you, your co-founder, but how you guys came up with the idea for Supergrow and kind of what led you down that path. And then just jump in a little bit and tell us a little bit more about what it actually does, because from what I can see, what it does is totally different than probably what it actually does behind the scenes. So I would love to hear all the nitty and gritty.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Let's start with a quick intro of how we got started with Supergrow. So yeah, before Supergrow, we both were working on a different products which were for Twitter creators. So Devin, who is my co-founder, he was working on a product called Honeypot, which was a cold DM for Twitter. And I was working on similar to Supergrow for Twitter creators. And then one fine day, Elon Musk decided to take up Twitter, and he suddenly raised the prices of the Twitter API, and then we had to shut it down in just a single day. So we both had the same problem, and we were in a common community where all the makers who were building on Twitter were hanging out. And then this news came up, and if I remember correctly, we were the only two Indian people who were building something on Twitter and were on that community, right? So we then DM'd each other, and we saw that, hey, like, what next? This is all gone in a single day. So that was a crazy day for us. And
it's the true story of, like, I want you all to pay attention if you're listening, because shit hits the fan. When you were working with technology and you're working with data, you're not alone. If you feel like you're alone when shit hits the fan, you are not, because it hits the fan for everybody. Like, and when it does, it can be really, really heartbreaking. Like, it's massive sometimes. Now, obviously it doesn't happen like that all the time, but did you just freak out.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
all of a sudden it was just gone.
Yeah, we never expected this, and then this suddenly happened. So it was a shocker for us,
Yeah.
right? Because we both had some paid users who were paying us, and then it was hard for us to refund them, cancel them, right? So it was really hard for a founder to do this, right? So
I
it
can't even
was really shocker.
imagine.
Yeah, but okay. Anyways, we then collaborated and we connected with each other and shared same pain, and then we discussed what else to do, right? So
Okay.
then, being in a creator economy, we both kind of understand how creators work and how the entire economy works, what user needs, what are the pain points of creators, right? So it was obvious for us to build something for creator. So then we identified other social media platforms like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc. And then we found that LinkedIn, uh, for LinkedIn creators, there is a huge space. There is no one out there who is solving the content problem really well, right? So that's where we kind of started brainstorming on this idea and see what we could do here. So yeah, that's how we jumped on and started Supergrow, having a same pain, same problem, and that's how we met. And that's how we met online. By the way, we never met in person before starting Supergrow.
That's
So
awesome. I love to hear founder stories where it's like
mhm,
where it's like two people had the same problem and all of a sudden they just like stumbled into each other, wherever it is, online, offline, whatever. And,
uh,
oh, let's create something. I didn't actually realize that, so that's really cool. So it was originally, was it a similar product for Twitter? Like, was it originally, like, were you doing something similar? Like,
mm,
I guess because I know, like, I guess Twitter formatting is obviously way different than LinkedIn, right? Like, it's a lot smaller. And back
yeah,
when you probably started, when we're doing that, the character count is less, and like, so
yeah,
I know there's obviously different nuances. I haven't even bothered to go there. I just ever since the Elon thing, I'm just like, whatever. I don't necessarily care. Um, I guess
hmm,
tell me the differences, because LinkedIn is very much about like long formatting posts. So I can't
yeah,
even imagine what it was like to adapt the back end kind of system and code to make it go from, you have, what is it, 150 characters to, you can write an entire novel and we're going to format it for you, right? Like,
yeah,
how many hours were you guys not sleeping to make this happen?
yeah. So that Twitter product didn't really help building Supergrow. So, like, to be honest with you, that it didn't really work
Yeah.
because the feature set, the kind of audience we were serving on Twitter is totally different from the audience that we plan to serve with Supergrow. So we had to entirely start from scratch with Supergrow. So there's no code or nothing taken it from our previous products. So it's like from
Brand new,
zero.
ground up.
Yeah, yep, ground up, and it's brand new. And then yeah, we started talking to users, taking their feedback, understanding their problems, and then trying to build and incorporate into the product. Yeah, so that's how it goes.
That's really, like, it's really interesting to hear, because it's hard. Like, you have a product that's similar, and I'm saying it in quotes because it's not really similar, but it's like they're so different, and they're so, the code base and everything like that, even trying to do anything is totally different. I mean, it's a different
Yeah,
API and everything, right? So
yep,
I would be curious. So when you said, because your customer base is completely different,
yep,
because I know there are a lot of creators and a lot of people, like business owners and entrepreneurs, that were doing both Twitter and LinkedIn, and I know
hmm,
I know a lot that still do, but I also know a
yep,
lot that just kind of like myself, just kind of completely abandoned and just switched over to
mm,
LinkedIn more full time. Do you find that, do you have any like overlap from previous customers, or were you, I'd be curious to know, like, is there an overlap, or like are these people that were like you guys were helping before on LinkedIn trying to do something similar, or were you just not even going after creators, or is that like a totally different audience, or
Yeah,
does that make sense? Is there like an
yeah,
overlap?
yeah. I got it. No, there is no overlap between users, uh, because as I said, both users have a different set of problems. Because like on a top, if we see, we kind of see the problems looks similar, but when you deep down and see and understand the problems really well, you see the real difference, right? Because Twitter creators would need threads, auto
Yeah.
repost,
Yeah.
etc., while LinkedIn doesn't have all these features,
Yeah.
right? So there is no overlap between from our past users to the current product. So
How
this
do
is from
you
zero.
how do you think that it's evolved since, like, even just so, like I said, I was an early adopter, right? I got in with Utsav and the team really early on and have seen it go through multiple development iterations and all of the new features and stuff. How has it evolved for you with all the LinkedIn drama, right? Like there's LinkedIn drama all the time, right? Like every day, I
Uh,
think what Luke just got banned again for the 10th time or something, every day there's something going
yeah.
on new with the algorithm. Do you buy into the hype that um eventually it's just gonna like blow up and explode and like implode, or have you heard any of those whisperings like it seems in the last couple of months that there's been more and more problems and like all of this stuff is happening? Do you
Hmm.
think that's like, I mean, obviously I know you can't say that like on the record, LinkedIn
Uh,
told me, like, but I'm just like curious for your opinion as somebody who touches this kind of the algorithm, the API, all the stuff, all whatever you want to call it, like you're there every day, and I'm assuming you have a direct line of somehow some sort of direct
yeah.
line of contact to LinkedIn. Like, do we need to be worried? Like, should we be worried that this is just going to like implode one day because they don't know what we're doing? Or
I think, in my opinion, they like LinkedIn pretty much know what they are doing, right? They are bullish on creators, obviously, because at the end of the day, it is on their benefit, because they also have a product to sell, right? So as far as I know, they're like super bullish on this creators economy and the creators who are creating content on LinkedIn, because at the end of the day, they are selling their products to this set of active creators, right? So no
right?
problem with that. In fact, I would assume more creators would come and this would explode one day. This is just the beginning of creators creating content on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
The exploration part is yet to come, and like we are super happy to experience that and see how that goes. Because if you see, right, Instagram, TikTok, this all those platforms have exploded, and then a lot of creators have started creating content on these platforms. But if you see on LinkedIn, it's still a little less number of creators who are creating content on LinkedIn, right?
yeah.
So there's something yet to explode. This is what I assume, and like we're just waiting for that day.
It's just such it's so funny because it kind of goes in waves, right? Like it it's it's interesting to watch how the algorithm, and obviously you can't actually watch it, you don't really know what it's doing or when it's going to do something, and frankly
Hmm.
I personally believe I don't think that they actually know what it's doing,
Yeah.
and can predict the trends. I mean, um would you like I'd be curious to understand from you, like, what kind of hoops, if that's what you want to call it, what kind of hoops have you guys had to jump through to like make sure that you're following their rules, like that you're
Hmm.
LinkedIn compliant, that you're not, because there's all these, right? Like, I mean,
Uh,
you know where I'm going. Like all of
yep.
the terms and conditions for software providers such as yourself, there's
Hmm.
so many restrictions. Like if you go and read through that stuff, it's like my Lord, like they want my firstborn child, like there's a lot of restrictions, and I can't even imagine what it's like for someone creating a software as a service that to help people, because
Yeah.
in my opinion, software like yours,
Hmm.
um, in comparison, and this is just my opinion, I'm not putting words in your mouth or anybody's mouth, but like in my opinion, software like yours compared to like a Taplio, right? Like that's another big one that's out there. I prefer yours because it's helping me, my team create the content, and um giving you ideas and inspiration, but it's not like pod like in the sense where
Yeah.
you're blasting engagement out and doing some of those other really shady things that are very controversial, right? That I just try to stay away from, because
Hmm.
I don't care. Love pods, hate them, whatever. You people do you. Like, it's not for me. I don't care. You want to go do whatever. But so there's all of that stuff that's out there. So I'd love to hear your story and how you and the team kind of got around that. Well, I guess got around, that's not even the right word, but like, how did you deal with that? Like, what kind of
Hmm.
walls and barriers did you have to go through to make sure you were doing the right thing? I'm assuming, like, maybe like you have
Yeah.
a group
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
advisors or people that you talk to, like, that know what the heck is going on.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a really great question and a burning question, I would say, among the creators on LinkedIn. So, like being hit before from a platform, when we decided to start something on a different platform, we were again taking those risks, right? Because there is always a platform dependency. So before Supergrow, we both were hit uh, because of Twitter API, right? And there are a lot
Okay.
of changes, and we got hit. So, so considering those changes, we we had this strong belief that we won't go against LinkedIn terms of services, right? So when we started building this out, we read entire terms of service, what they allow, what they don't allow, how are their APIs perform, what sort of actions we can do with their APIs, what we cannot do. So cannot do were super helpful for us, and we just have to make sure that we don't go outside of the terms of services, right? Because we don't want to again hit by a platform, and we also don't want to get our users accounts get blocked or get restricted, right? So that was a number one priority when we started building on LinkedIn. So everything we do is under their terms of services, where like whenever we plan to build a feature, we will check their API docs and we'll see whether we can do this or not. If they allow to do this officially, we will then finalize and will then plan out the
Right.
feature. But if they are not allowing anything officially, we won't go that route. We'll say no to the customer
Yeah.
because
Here's a
it's in their,
question.
yeah.
Have you ever had your hand slapped? Have like the LinkedIn police ever had to like reach out to you and be like, no, 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 like you can't do that, bad, bad? Because I have a feeling like, just from us having conversations in the past, even like through, I feel
Yeah.
like you would do that. You'd be like, damn it, right? Like, like just try, like, I'm going to try this and just see what happens. And they come back and go, no, you can't do that.
Oh no, we haven't had any sort of conversations with LinkedIn around this. We haven't received any single messages because I don't seem to have a point to have a conversation, because we don't do any sort of uh, non-official activities, right?
Yeah.
Such as outbound automation. There's something they not allow because they have their own product, right? So they don't want to
Right.
do this and go unofficial way.
Well, their big thing too is that it's pulling in from what I understand, and you obviously are closer to it than I am. They don't want you to pull in personal data information of other people. Like if I connect my LinkedIn, that's me choosing to, do that through your platform, but they don't want you to go out there and pull like personal. They don't want emails and phone numbers and like all of the stuff that like their LinkedIn app, right? Like they don't want their software providers doing that. Like that's a definite violation, right? Like you can't go and start pulling email addresses. And so one of the things, and I'm pretty sure it was you and I having, I mean, it was through chat, and it might have been one of your team members, because I was super curious when you came out with a new feature where you could see the feed of, and I don't remember what it's called. So like, I think it's the inspiration tab or whatever, where you can see people that I follow or whatever, or something like that. But I had asked originally, and I was like, oh no, he's not there. There's no way he would do this. There's no way they pull it. And so it's not pulling in the personal information. It's like showing you, and I don't know what the right term is. I don't know if it's not scraping, because
No. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just showing you what you already are connected to or something like that. But tell us about that, how that actually works in simple terms, because obviously if you go too far into depth, it's going to be like, we have no idea what you're talking about, because I know that's a worry for people. People are begging, and you know this, which is one of the reasons I'm sure you've created this, right? You found this problem.
Yep.
Creators and entrepreneurs and business owners are begging for tools like this. They want tools like this to help them create content and to help them, get bigger, better, faster, stronger. But one of the cool things about having that inspiration like feed of all of the different like topics, like technology, marketing, whatever, and then you can see all the top creators that are creating that. How is something like that done without busting the terms and conditions, right? Because I know that that's a huge thing, like no scraping data, like no personal information, no, it's almost like just like an embed of the feed or something.
Yeah, I really wish I could answer this, because there are two reasons. First, I don't know how it works, because Devin is someone who,
without the devs,
he takes care of this. And second, there is a secret behind this I don't want to put out.
That is a perfectly acceptable answer. But at least, I mean, you said the right thing there, right? Like you're doing the right things when it comes to checking the APIs and like doing all that. And I am making the assumption that they're not going to allow you to pull something through the API if they don't want you to. Like you would think that they would lock that down, right? Like you were saying earlier. I would hope.
And even in last 16, 17 months since we have started, we never had a single issue where a user's account got restricted or maybe blocked, right? We never had a single issue of this. So I would say it's safe to use Supergrow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely drop Supergrow into the show notes and for people to go out and I'm not gonna lie, I do have an affiliate link. They gave me an affiliate link, but I will say this: I don't provide like affiliate links for stuff that we're not using. We are. What has it been? Has it been a year? Has it been a year?
Yeah,
half a year. About a year.
About a year.
So we've been using Supergrow for about a year. I'm gonna give or take maybe 8 months. So this is something that our team uses on a daily basis. We use this for multiple clients. So this is something you guys should definitely go and check out. It is, and I guess we didn't really get into that. If you want to do a quick high level overview of all the wonderful things, go for it and tell people. I mean, I know, and you can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong or if I miss anything. So you can start and like you can write your own post and you write it all out in the system, and then and then you can have AI format it and put it into like one of the popular formats. You can use the templates that Utsav and team have in the system, or you can create your own like formatted template. Like you can go out and grab Luke's templates from his chat GP. Like you can go grab all of those and then you can create custom templates. And so we've created a few custom templates from a bunch of different people that we've collected. Um, obviously, you can add images and videos. Um, you can do the inspiration, like that I was talking about. There's an inspiration feed where you can see, like, you can pick a topic, marketing, whatever. But what's really cool is if you run out of ideas, because we all do that. You hit a wall block. You want to talk about, like, consistency in repetitive conversations on LinkedIn is what, like, you do on a daily basis. Like, if you just like hit up, like, I don't know what else to talk about. I've talked about this for like 3 years now, and I'm dead. One of the best parts of Supergrow is the ability to put in what you want to talk about, like just a one line, and then pick the tone, and then have it pick like the tone of voice, and then you pick the template, the formatted template, and then you hit create, and it creates it for you. And what I absolutely love, like, you can just keep refreshing it until you find, and then you can take that, and then you can edit that. So, like, you can put your own spin on it, because now you've got the format and you've got the basic outline, and then you go in and you edit and you add your own little, like, voice. It's amazing. It is so amazing. If you guys haven't checked this out, you have to just go do it. And the carousel, that's new this year. That thing is super cool. You can create a carousel from your content you write. And now, and I haven't even checked lately. Like, I hate to say this, I haven't checked. I'm sorry. But the last time I was in there, they were, you guys had a bunch of new, like, carousel templates, preset templates, but then you can customize the templates with your own colors and logos and branding. There's a brand deck. Oh, and there's the brand voice thing now in the settings, which is awesome. Like, I'll tell you, my writers were on cloud 9. Like, you go into your settings and you can create an entire, like, brand tone and voice for your brand. Like, it's awesome. And then it applies it to everything that you write. It's just the coolest thing ever. And I'm sure he has more to add, but, like, or he probably just loves sitting there and listening to his customers tell him how awesome his tool is, right? Like, never get too much of that, right? But I'm telling you, you guys go check it out. And they're building, they are what I would consider to be a fast development team. They're building new features all the time, and they really actually listen to you. If you have, like, a problem and you use a little chat bot and you chat in, they will actually have a conversation with you. Utsav himself has actually reached out to me, like, on LinkedIn or whatever. Like, I've sent a request in, and he's like, hey, let's jump on a call. We've had a few calls. I've had calls with his teammates before, and they give a shit, right? Which is awesome, right? Like, they actually want to help you and help your journey as a business owner, which is really freaking cool. So,
wow, I'm loving this.
It's really, and it really does help save you time. And I'm sure that there are others out there that are probably using it even more. Because, like I said, we usually write first and then format and then edit. So, but I'm sure there's people out there that are using it specifically for creating the content and then editing and adding stuff in. But it saves you so much time, and it really does help. And I'm loving the new, I don't know what that's called. I'm loving the new, it's newer. Well, it's probably, it's a couple months old now, but the newer feature where it pulls in all of the past posts that we've created inside the system, and so that you can, like, repurpose content faster. That's awesome. So, like, we can use the analytics either between LinkedIn or Supergrow or wherever we're getting your analytics from. You can go in and then find, and since the posts were created and formatted in Supergrow, they're already there, and then you can just recreate the post, edit it, and then push it back out in a different format, add a different picture. But repurposing content with Supergrow is, like, super fast and awesome, because, I mean, otherwise you'd have to go. It's a pain in the ass to reformat content, but when it's already there, makes it super easy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and on top of those features, right, there are other features as well, which are really useful when it comes to repurposing. Let's say if you are a podcaster and you host this good nice podcast, you simply have to upload this video. Let's say you are uploading this to YouTube, get those YouTube URLs, and then create a bunch of LinkedIn posts from a
Yes.
YouTube, right? So similarly, you can also do it from a PDF, YouTube, online article. So it's faster to repurpose.
That's awesome. Andrew, did you hear that? That's what we're gonna do. I think that we'll do that. How about this? For all of you out there listening and paying attention or not paying attention, we're gonna do that for this post. When this is all done and
Yeah,
uploaded, the episode's uploaded, we'll take it, we'll drop it into Supergrow, and then we can create it, and then we can show you guys exactly how we did it. I'm
absolutely.
thinking we'll create a Loom video of us doing that with the
Yeah,
platform, and that'll be like the first comment. So you'll get the short video and you'll get the written post, and then in that first comment we'll just create a little video of step by step how we did it with Supergrow and show the audience how it's done. How's that sound? Does
awesome.
that
Yeah,
sound
awesome.
awesome? Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
It's so cool. We absolutely love this kind of stuff, and we've been doing some more like step-by-step tutorials, and the audience, like our audience and customers and people have been really, really enjoying that. So I think this will be a really good one because this is something that these creators actually need. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
let's do it.
I know we've talked about so much stuff, so this has been really, really exciting. So I want to ask you one other question before we go, because I'm going to have you tell people where they can find you. I guess two questions.
Sure.
One, I always ask everyone I talk with about like their opinion about work-life balance. I know you've been following me for a while, so you know how I feel. I don't believe that in work-life balance, it's all one life. I mean, you can't really separate it. You know, if you're an entrepreneur, it doesn't even have to be an entrepreneur. If you're a human being, you have one life, right? And
Yeah,
you're either working on personal or you're working on business, and it's all one life, right? And you just have to pick and choose how you live your life and what you do. I'd be curious though, because I know I've worked with a lot of tech teams and I've worked on a lot of like software projects and stuff. Um, how how has your work life, quote unquote, balance? Like, how do you feel about that? How are you able to balance that? You know, like actually taking a break, because building software is no joke, right? Like, I mean,
uh,
it can be super stressful, especially like in building a startup and like, you know, getting customers and doing the whole thing. How did you balance that when you were first starting out? Or didn't
oh,
you?
this
You
is.
just didn't sleep, caffeine induced, you know?
Oh yeah, when we started, I'll be honest, it was hard for us to manage actually. Uh, we yeah we were pulling all nighters
Yeah.
just to get this out, because obviously because we are loving this journey. We are so happy to building this, talking to users, right? So yeah, initial days were really tough and there wasn't any work life balance as such. But yeah, both of us were very clear on, once we settle all this down, right, we will be in a routine and we'll have a good balance between work and life, everything in between, right? So now things have started shaping it up and things have started rolling it out, right? So
Yeah.
now what we do is we started delegating to our team members or to other freelancers, etc. And we now created a routine for both of us. So for me, I wake up early, 6 7 a.m. I do workout, I lift weights, I eat clean food, right? I sleep at 10 11 p.m. in the night. So now it's all set. But yeah, when we started, it was hard. I think
Yeah.
we intentionally choose this to do, right, for the benefit of business and for us. And obviously we were loving this, right? So it wasn't hard choice for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what it is. But I would strongly recommend all to have this sort of balance. You just can't do work.
But you wouldn't change it, right? Do you love what you do?
Yeah, I love what I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the key thing that, people have to realize that. And it's kind of funny to me how people don't get, like, they don't get there, or it takes them a really long time to get there. If you don't
Yeah,
love what you do, if you don't love it, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna, I mean,
absolutely.
you have to love what you do. It makes the extra hours worth it.
Yeah,
It makes the grit in the beginning, like, okay, because you actually are enjoying what you do. If you're doing
that's
something you hate, it doesn't matter how many hours you put in, you're still going to hate
yeah,
it 5 years from now. I mean, it's a big thing, right? Like, if you don't love you have to love what you do to make
yeah,
it
yeah.
work. And I think it makes all of the extra hours that you're talking about, and the lack of sleep and all the, it makes it worth it in the end, because
Absolutely.
in 5 years you've built this thing that you just absolutely love. You're helping people at a mass scale, right?
Yeah.
So
True.
my second question for you is, and if you can, because I know that some of the things you probably can't, can you tell us any, like, inside goodies? Like, what is there any, like, what's new? What's coming? Like, what can we expect? What's the future look like for our like us awesome Supergrow fans?
Uh, oh yeah, there are a lot of interesting stuff
I'm
coming
assuming
out.
you have a lot in the pipeline that you
Yeah,
can't tell us, but is there any like, what's the next feature you're going to release? Are you allowed to tell us that?
absolutely. Yeah. We do everything in public, so we have a public roadmap as well. So there's nothing to hide. But yeah, talking about features, just today we released an interesting feature where we really saw that creators are adding 3 to 4 comments under the LinkedIn post, right?
Okay.
And when I asked all those creators and my friends, how do you do this? All all of them were doing manually, right? So they'll schedule the post and then they'll sit at the posting time and then they'll manually add those comments, right? So adding 3 to 4 comments under a single post
Yeah.
takes a lot of time. So we now solved this problem, right? So with Supergrow, you can write a post, right? Schedule the post and then add as many comments as you want. And you can also schedule this comment as well, right? So along with post, you can schedule the comment.
So, like, the pinned comments, you can add those, and they'll schedule after the post.
Yep, exactly.
Huh.
So there is no
See.
pinned comment now because LinkedIn removed that feature, the pinned
Okay.
comment feature. Yeah, but yeah, you
Yeah.
can comment on your post without manually commenting on the LinkedIn post.
Okay.
Supergrow will
So
take care of it.
I know we're
This
out of
will help
time,
you.
but that leads me to another question. So, like,
Sure.
well, because now they have now it's like threads, right? Like,
Yeah,
the new thing. So before, there was all this, I don't know if hype's the right word, but there was all this chatter that you you shouldn't allow a tool to do, like, the posting for you, because that violated, because you weren't allowed to, like, engage or something like that.
hmm,
Is that still true? Like, is that, I mean, and I think that probably at one point that probably was true, right? But then so many of us have started creating all those, like, we write our posts, like you said, and then we have, like, I do usually 2, maybe 3, like Luke does like 15.
yeah,
Like, we have all those right, exactly. Like, and then, starting the conversations and in the
exactly,
threads and whatever. So I know that a while ago, like, that there was all this chatter about, like, no, you can't do that. Like, you can't do that. It's going to violate terms. And I'm thinking to myself, why would they allow you to even connect to their API to do that
exactly, exactly.
if they didn't want you to, or not? I guess want you to isn't the right word, but if they were just going to ban you for doing it. I guess I'm not really even sure. I guess I don't know how it works. So I would love to hear your take on that, because it's been around for a long time, all of that chatter behind the scenes.
Yeah. So this is something they provide in their official API, right? And as I said earlier, we only do things that they provide in their official API. So LinkedIn won't do anything to your account if you are doing if you are posting from a third party tool, or if you're commenting as well, right? If you see Buffer, Social Pilot, and these big names, they are doing really good. They have
Okay.
hundreds of millions of revenue, and they still do this. So
So
it's
if you're
obvious that
posting, so if you're posting on your own post, it's okay. But do they get upset if you're posting on other people's posts from a platform? Like, I guess I don't even understand like what the issue was that people were complaining about. Like, I mean, I can't see them getting upset if I'm using Supergrow to post comments on my own posts. Like, it's
yeah,
my post. Like,
yeah,
why do you care if I'm posting to my own post? I could see them getting mad, like, if I'm using the tool and posting out comments to your post. Like, that makes sense to me. Maybe they're mad about that. I don't know. But I don't. I don't get the. I don't. I don't understand the issue. Like, if I'm doing it on my own post, like, I guess I never got that.
yeah. Anyways, this is a long topic, I would say, and
Yeah.
I have a lot to share. So maybe you could do another podcast specifically on this.
We could do an entire like 45 minutes probably just talking about commenting and engagement. But we
Absolutely.
digress. So
Yeah, and one more thing, one more
yeah,
interesting feature that we are coming up with is uh, where you just speak out, right? You speak out your words, thoughts, anything. System will summarize it, and then system will create a LinkedIn post out of it, right? So we call this voice to LinkedIn post. So this is something we are building right now, and this would be really amazing. I'm so excited for this.
that's exciting. And when is this? Is this out there for beta people now? Or are we gonna
Yeah, for
wait
sure.
like the rest of everybody else? Okay.
No, you will be the first one to know.
All right, good. Woo! All right, guys, this has been so much fun. Utsav, tell people where they can find you. They can obviously find you on LinkedIn, but we'll drop all the information in the show notes. But I still want you to tell people where they can find you, how they can connect with you. Yeah, you do that, and then we'll say goodbye.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm super active on LinkedIn because that's what we do as a business as well. So LinkedIn is the best place to find me.
And the Supergrow website. They have to go check out the Supergrow
Yeah,
website.
absolutely. Feel free to check out.
Give them the
It's
URL.
supergrow.ai.
Yep. Go to supergrow.ai. Like I said, guys, I'll put it in the notes and I'll drop an affiliate link in there as well. Go check out Utsav on LinkedIn too and follow his content because he's got some really cool content too. He talks about a lot of different business growth stuff and especially the Supergrow stuff as it's happening. That's it. That's all I got for you guys today. And remember, technology is only good when it works, and we will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
I